The Pathways to Knowledge model of information processing identifies 6 stages that students go through when learning to process information. They are appreciation, pre-search, search, interpretation, communication, and evaluation. More information on this can be found in the Technology as Facilitator of Quality Education model. Students in the special education classroom are reading Night of the Twisters. The students demonstrate the appreciation stage of information processing by discussing their previous experiences with severe weather.
When I first came here, I think they thought that we would have some stuff from Hurricane Bonnie my very first year, and then we didn't have any of that. But then last year, remember we had Floyd, and then what was it the one before or the one after? There were 2. Because we missed all that school last year because we had all the rain. That's right, we did. Because we had all the rain from the hurricanes. So, but at least what we've had from the hurricanes is just the flooding, which is bad, but it's not quite as bad as if a tornado would come and knock the school down. What would happen if the school got knocked down?
Probably go to another school, like the church.
They'd probably send us somewhere. You don't think so?
Nope. We said in the book, we said wind can't knock wood.
Well, it can. It's just a little more difficult for it. They said wind can't knock brick over, but it can. It's just harder to knock over.
How strong it is.
Right, and it does depend on how strong it is.
The students enter the pre-search stage of information processing when they participate in pre-reading activities. Before they begin reading, the students build background information by previewing the illustrations in the book. This activity assists students in forming initial questions and identifying key words for the lesson.
It's probably raining.
But it's dark and cloudy.
It's dark and cloudy. Good. Okay, go ahead to the next page. Now on this next page, it looks like it's kind of what?
Dark.
Dark. A little bit blurry. So by this time, the power has probably gone out. What does the boy look like he's doing?
Being frightened, trying to goes to the basement somewhere.
Okay, he might be trying to go to the basement or somewhere. Daphne, what do you think? He does look scared too.
Well, you probably going outside.
He might be going outside. Travis, what do you think he might be doing?
Look like he just finished coming out the kitchen.
Okay. Yeah, it does sort of look like he did come out of the kitchen there. Pots and pans.
Later, the students start brainstorming ideas about tornado safety. They use Inspiration software to create a concept web that describes what they would do during a tornado and what might occur in the story. The students are relating topics through webbing and outlining.
Anything else we can think of for tornado safety that we might need to do, or?
If you have to, go in your closet.
Okay, you might.
Near the closet.
You might have to go into the closet. Would you call anyone? Who would you call? Call your neighbor?
The students listen to a recording of Night of the Twisters, gathering information as they follow along in their books. The teacher pauses the tape periodically so she and the students can discuss the characters and events that appear. This helps students pick up important information from the story. This demonstrates the search stage of information processing.
All right, tornado watch and tornado warning. What's the difference, Bernard?
Tornado warning means that they have spotted it, and tornado watch means that they think it's coming, but they do not exactly know.
Okay, it's good. A tornado watch means that the conditions are right for it to happen. The warning means it has been spotted somewhere close by. That's a good thing to make sure you know, because if you're watching the TV and it says there's a tornado watch, you know you should be looking out for it and be ready. But if there's a warning, you know that you should probably be trying to find some place to go in case it does come, because they have seen one already.
The students and the teacher discuss questions pertaining to the story. The students answer the questions, paraphrasing and organizing information from the text. This activity is an example of the interpretation stage of information processing.
At the beginning of the story, Dan and Arthur were not very worried about the storm. What happened that made them start to worry about it? It was one thing, Eric. It was something that they heard.
The tornado. No.
Not the tornado, but
The siren.
the sirens. Thank you for helping them out. They heard the sirens, so they knew they had to worry then. What was on the TV, though, Eric?
Ooh. CD.
Right, the letter CD, that meant it was a civil defense emergency. What else did they know? What else happened that they knew that there was problems with the storm?
On the radio, the man was saying,
Tornado. He kept saying tornado alert on the radio.
And didn't it cut off?
The radio cut off and the lights went out. So all of those things.
The students enter the appreciation stage of information processing when they learn how to simulate a tornado using 2-liter bottles, water, and food coloring. This activity fosters the curiosity and imagination of the students, and it gives them the opportunity to think about tornadoes in multiple formats.
Before we start talking about actually researching things, I'm going to show you how you can very easily make a tornado in a bottle. Now, I'm going to just add a couple drops of food coloring to this today.
Black.
I'm going to do blue.
Mine's moved better.
if I would have
Oh,
had
skinny. Look at that.
And moving slow too.
that be candy cane. You know, Christmas tree.
In preparation for a future research project, the students and the teacher identify keywords that can be used for an internet search on tornado safety. This activity is an example of pre-search, part of information processing.
What are some things that we might be looking for? Let me see if I can turn this.
Watches, warning.
Okay, we might type in, let's go one at a time, please. Travis, we might type in watches and warnings.
Watching the news.
Watches and warnings. What else might we type in, Eric?
Watching the news.
Would we type in watching the news, though? I want to know if we went to the internet to search about tornadoes, what would we type in? Hold on.
Good to me.
Name of tornado.
It's Eric's turn right now.
Floyd.
You want us to come back to you?
Looking out for it.
Okay, which would be a watch or a warning? But are you saying like how to watch for one? Okay, so let's say weather conditions. Okay, we might look for weather conditions.